So start with my reaction video one.
Yes.
Um, Pretty much it just gave you the overall feel of what a patient activation liaison is supposed to do. And for me, my impression of that was basically you want the patient to be involved in their care, and you're doing that through your patient health record, or PHR. And it made me think of a lecture that I got from Dr. Dunlap, and he pretty much talked about how he had a patient, and he pretty much had his arms folded like he didn't really want to listen and didn't want to be there. And so when the doctor walked in, instead of immediately like assessing or telling him what he should or should not be doing, or the typical fashion of guess what a doctor does, he decided to just ask the patient, how can I help you today? And I guess what I took from that and why I brought it up to the video was pretty much it was making the patient take an active role and why they're there. So what can I do for you? Why are you here? Why, in what way can I help you? And I think that's kind of like somewhat of what the PALs are supposed to be getting at, is how can the patient kind of, how can I help you help yourself and be more involved?
The biggest thing I'm trying to teach in how you reply to these is to say something that nobody could argue with you about. So you said having the patient play an active role. So what I could say, no, that's not what this is about. Because you're making a statement that is attempting objective truth. I'm looking for a statement of your emotion.
It made me feel as though what I'm signing up to do is actually of importance. So it made me feel like I would be doing something that other people aren't doing. If that makes any sense. It made me feel like,
what's important about it?
It's like a care or endeavor that's not normally taken up.
But I mean, there are a lot of things we don't do because they don't work or because they don't have value. Why do you think that there's any value to this? What's your connection with it, your understanding of it?
Based on this video or just in life?
I just want you to say something that says your experience, your feeling.
My feeling?
Because I could say no, it's not important. You think it's not. So the way that a lot of volunteers will play with me on this is they'll say, okay, you want me to say something of feeling, then I'll say I feel, and then they'll make an objective statement. So they'll just start again in their sentence. They'll just put I feel before their attempt at objectivity. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
I think so. I might be unclear, but I think I'm just going to tell you what I personally get out of this video. And for me, kind of like all of them, because I feel like all of them correlate. But a lot of the stuff that I watch related to my family. I have a grandmother, which I talked about in the video, and she has really no idea what goes on in her healthcare sometimes. And I think it's important because it takes people like my grandmother, and it allows them kind of not really to know what's going on, but I think it gives them a grasp of like, who's your doctor, how do you contact them, what are your goals, what are your signs. Like, to me that's important, because if I had my grandmother here, I wanted to make sure that she knows that. And I know from my own experience that she doesn't know half the medication that she's taking.
Yeah, but maybe she doesn't need to know. Do you have a reason for thinking it's important for the person themselves to know, or that it was important for her to know? I mean, a lot of people have good family support and don't need that.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, well, at least as far as my family, like when people, or even just taking my grandmother, when she doesn't understand why she's taking something, she doesn't take it because she doesn't see the purpose in taking it. So you don't know why you're taking something and it doesn't make you feel well, why take it?
So there is a value that you've observed in knowing and understanding.
Yeah, I mean, from my family and from my perspective, yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Like, if people don't understand why they're taking something or what's its purpose, it's like, well, this doesn't make me feel good, so why take it? And so my grandmother has done that with some of the pills she takes. Now, other stuff she knows, like, she has to take because she either A, visibly feels the difference, or B, knows the doctor says I have to take this, otherwise such and such will happen. So, like, when I lived with my grandmother for, like, maybe a year, and so it was me and my cousin. And my cousin, because he had lived with her forever, he did most of the stuff for her. But, like, gave her insulin shots and all of that. So she would never miss her insulin shots. But other stuff, like not eating a high salt diet, she didn't listen to that because they don't really explain. High salt means high blood pressure, more heart failure. She didn't really get that, so we still ate what we normally eat.
Wow, that's great. I mean, a great insight. Okay, go ahead.
The next video, or?
Yeah.